Um, man, but this is so boring. Like it doesn't matter how good your textures are. And the moment I can see how how straight these housing st- uh, plates, how the 3D plate looks when it's in the editor without the texture, like if there is barely any difference. Like these tree stumps, for example, from afar, yeah, they look charred and uneven. Then you get close, suddenly it's stiff. This is the problem with my house, with the houses that I'm describing. I can see from afar how stiff everything looks. You know, even that it is too much of a line. I can see that it's textures over a model. And I never had that problem with the other map. So yeah, at least at the end of Sarah's story, they came around after she had her outburst. But man, just look at this detail. It rains. I'm hunched over, and there's a rain splash on my X blades. This is freaking amazing attention to detail. But sadly, this second map is so trash. Like really, the only thing I enjoyed is really a captain. Yeah, it's our captain over here. But I need to find an end. I've talked very long about this game. I hope I gave you a good insight of how I played this story. Well, there's maybe one more comment I have to do because it's something I heard when I was still deciding to not play this, because this was my mindset going into this. This is an asset flip because a lot of these textures, these trees, these houses are standard Unreal Engine textures and rocks and everything, and they only had to be placed. They got so much backlash on that they used stock assets that they even went back into development and changed them around, adjusted them. Um, so yes, that's a good thing. But I still see it in these burnt down houses. Ah. And at the start, I had problems looking past it for the first 20 hours, and then I got more relaxed. Now I feel more immersed. The second thing I knew beforehand is that people say this game has a lot of bloat. Bloat or extra fat is stuff that doesn't necessarily need to be in the game and just makes it so there's stuff to do, but you are not really doing anything. But then that would mean that there is no feedback at the end of the quest chain or something. But especially, I will mainly talk from the first map's perspective again. Um, each side quest gives you a big chunk of trust points. It's the main way of of gaining the trust, that is true. But the overworld always gives you these small goodies in foraging, gathering shrooms, berries, all that good stuff. Or having enemies come across you, like buck and deer and wolves, that you can harvest for meat. That then also give you a little bit more trust for the camp of your choice, which then allows you to get better weapons. So I don't really see the bloat in the mission system, especially on the first map. Yeah, but I see the bloat all over the second map. There's this problem with where the story restarts, and the advantage of the first map is that you are engaged into characters and you do stuff for those characters. Then those characters are gone, and the engagement with the characters was cushioning over a little bit of the stale bounty hunter mission or so. You know, those bounty hunter missions are not the greatest. I will give you that. But they are not bad. They are quick to the point and a good way to gain trust. You just don't have to do them. Like, I had a session, 2 sessions that I think were 7 or 8 hours in total to get Tuck to level 3. But then I suddenly got spammed with missions and side objectives, and suddenly I could have used those to level up Hot Spring. So in a way, if you do the bad thing like I did and just get lost in the overworld for hunting and everything, I can see the perspective of that there is a lot of bloat. Because the moment a settlement reaches level 3 trust, why are you still doing missions for them? Because there is no longer a reward. I'm gonna go back again to take a look at the weapon or mechanic shop here. Because a lot of these upgrades that you get. Ooh. Well, because a lot of the upgrades and the weapons that you get further on are obstructed by the trust level. And
open the gate.
It's fair to say that that it can be seen as bloat.
Hey, Deke. So no more yes, sir, and no, sir. Yeah. Hey, Deke.
Hey,
I'll
how
see
you
you
doing?
around.
So, no more militia, huh? How's that going?
And like, for example, this high engine upgrade was the tier 3 upgrade. I think this tank I got was level 2. Weapons are more interesting, so I guess we go. No, I only have to go to the weapons locker, right? Like, the Winchester was level 3, and it was freaking impactful, I must say. Tier 3 trust is really hard to grind out. Like, for I think level 1 is only 5k EXP, and you get that in like 2 or 3 missions, or 2 missions and a lot of meat. Or you not or, and then level 2 is 12.5k, which is a hassle, but if you get lost in the overworld or do the missions regularly, it's quite fast. Like, if you take the game time that I have spent in this map versus the other one, I really quickly leveled through all of these settlements. It is really hard to not get level 3 trust with these settlements. So you don't even need to do all of the bloat that I have put myself into. And that is really what it all comes down to. This game gives you, if you want to speedily level one of these encampments, the game will actually give you tools like hunting and foraging. And it can be done, I would say, about 6 hours per encampment. Or if you take the average time while doing multiple missions and stuff like that, I think you would get to 4 or even down to 3 hours per encampment to get them to level 3. And that is really quick for a game that is this size. Yeah, like I said, when I power leveled Tuck and then went along with the normal story, suddenly Tuck had a lot of extra bounty hunter quests. I didn't really need it to grind that hard for Tuck level 3. But then, yeah, that's technically, I think, 5 hours I could have spent differently. I could have used completing the game faster. And one more thing to the leveling progress, like getting these narrow outposts, finding these stim packs, clearing hordes, all of that gives you also trust points. You basically cannot not get level 2 trust on any encampment. The story is designed to get you across those points. So unless you run away from those side objectives, it is really hard to not get level 2 trust. And yeah. But then we talk about this lower part here, which is completely freaking boring, and you have no real incentive to get any of these to level 2. Like, the weapons look boring, the bike upgrades look boring. Like, it's such, like I said before, you come to this highly militarized encampment. They say they can produce any weapon and ammo type they want. They have World War II weaponry. That is actually better than your high-end weaponry, which makes no sense in my head. There's only the rule of cool. It makes sense here. Which is why I'm glad that now that I have cleared out the hordes, I got extra weapons that actually look modern. With those modern weapons, and those modern looking weapons are actually the best ones around. Like, if I had to keep using the Tommy gun, I don't like the sound of the Tommy gun. As something irritates me about it. But yeah, I think this is enough talking about Days Gone. I'm gonna restart the stream, but only to make the cut better for those last missions. Would I recommend Days Gone? Mostly. Like I said, I really like strolling about, just doing stuff. But it also has a really engaging story. Yes, the main character is extra dumbed down at certain points. But it makes sense for the stereotype he embodies. So I actually don't have a rating for this game, because this game hovers between either being a 6 or a 10. And the 10 is my personal score, and on 6 is it for everyone else. This game surely has stuff for everyone. No, like the IGN meme. But it's, if you don't know what you're hunting for, I see it easily being a drag for people. That can happen quite fast. Especially those moments when you have done a lot of bounty hunter missions, and then you are in your map instead of driving out of the camp. Then you're in a phase where the game processes and wants to wait till you're on the road again, to then have them call you back for the next job. But if you are in the map or in the camp, Tug will not call you again. There's a timer like 1 minute or 2 before they call you in again. Which then feels annoying because you just drove out and then go back in. So there's a lot of stuff that definitely will annoy people. But I would say this is one of the very best zombie games out there, because this game doesn't overdo it with modernized tech. Like, even so, you have grenades, bombs and everything, and even napalm. This game will hurt you and challenge you. And then, like I had here when I went for those hordes that were placed again, like, I could see that the horde that was in this sector is barely even able to touch me because my weapons have become way too powerful. And then we had that one horde somewhere around here that was freaking massive. Yeah. Like I said, this game is either incredibly good or only half a prime stake. So this second part takes away so much recommendation possibility. It needed to be cut away and put into a second game to be fully fleshed out. It really had to be something else. On a score from 1 to 10, 10 is best, 6.5. Personal score 9 to 10 out of 10. A 9, leaning more towards a 9 now because replayability is very low. So yeah, I probably would need to wait like 3-4 years before I would touch this game again.